What's going on, guys? Hey, how are you? It's Saturday night under the lights. Chicago International Raceway or Chicago Raceway, whatever, Chicago Motor Speedway, whatever they call it nowadays. But yeah, it is the Midwest Barbecue ARCS Saturday Night Showdown Series. And boy, what a race it's going to be, getting ready for 100 laps around this now, unfortunately, defunct track. As always, Saturday nights, joining me in the booth, the one and only KS Gaming 51. Swats, good to see you, bud. Hadn't actually got a chance to talk to you for a few days. How are you? Are you ready for tonight? And who you got? Hmm. If anybody out there is actually having an issue hearing Swats, please let me know. Actually, Swats, can you pull up the stream and see if you can hear yourself, please? While you do that, I'm going to go through. Cause I'm not seeing you in OBS or something else is going on. Not 100% sure, but I couldn't see. Okay, so yeah, I gotta figure out what to do about that. Let's see. That's really really weird. That means that they're not hearing the uh, yeah, audio from the race either. Yep. Um, yeah, and I don't know why. Um, I apologize, guys. We're gonna get this ironed out right quick. I absolutely promise. Well, no, if it's not picking up from iRacing either, yeah, um, yeah, and yep. Yeah, mine is set to my Yeti. The desktop audio says desktop audio, but it's not picking up. Let me see. That's set to default. Um, NVIDIA. Would it be on? Dang it! I needed more time to make sure this was all set up properly, and they launched the room late. Um, all right. Stand by, ladies and gents. I apologize. I know, Mud. I got you. All right, I'll share my screen with you. There you go. You should see it. All right. So I'm not even. I'm pretty sure it was under default. Yeah, I'm almost sure. There's a good idea. Right. I don't know. Oh, okay. Let me see. Sound good. Voice chat spot. Um, surround sound voice chat. For which one? My headset. So it probably needs to go to speakers and okay. Let's try that. Yep. Oh, stand by. Yeah, yeah. I put it. Yep, speakers and Yeti. Yep. But it's still not picking up you. Yep. Yep. Change this. Oh. So in OBS, I need to change something, or in iRacing. In iRacing, you mean? Yeah, but that's you can see my bar on the bottom moving. So that's me talking. It wouldn't be two Yetis. Um, Yeah, but I'm still trying to hear you though. Yeah. And I mean yeah, it's not picking you up at all for some reason. Um, I don't I don't get it. I didn't change anything from the other day.
Can you hear me now? Hey.
All right. All right, I guess we'll try this
Are
again.
iRacing set to the same thing?
I hope so.
Because I didn't hear the engine sounds. That's what
Yeah.
I was wondering. Yeah, I can hear me on your stream now.
Okay, good. All right. Let's see what these guys. Awesome, Mud. Awesome. All right, so it looks like these guys, I'm guessing they've been paying attention out there too. Let's go ahead and see if we can't clear this up. I'm going to guess they are about ready to grid up if they haven't already. Let's see. So here are your here's your gridding results, and guys, thank you very much for all your patience. Just something that we had to work through. It looks like on the poll, Mike LaJoy in that number 77. In the number 74 is going to be Jeremy Brialt, Cody Meadows, P number 3, Joshua Gaiman, P number 4, P5, Tom Sears, P6 is going to be Alex Zimkowski. Swatch, you want to take 7th through 10th, please?
Yeah, 7th is going to be your points leader, Matt Kent, out of Texas in that Chevy 31. Elrich George coming in 8th in the 40 in a Ford. Cody Pennell in the 28 in a Ford, 9th. Dylan McDonald sitting 10th in a Chevy in that 38. And then Donald Ray sitting 11th in a Chevy as well. Andrew Jamalin sitting 12th in that 65 Chevy. Jacob Blankenship sitting in the 85 in a Ford. Cody Riggs in the 3 will be sitting in a Chevy as well, 14th. And Byron Jones sitting 15th, Pete.
Yeah, behind Byron Jones going to be the one and only Patrick Allen once he goes ahead and grids up. Tristan Catania right next to him. Then it's going to be Ben Choate in this number 1. Let's go ahead and bring this information back up. Sorry, guys, a little rattled trying to get back into it. Tyler Patterson right there in that number 27. Ford F-150. And the number 10 is going to be Daniel Maddox in that Mountain Dew throwback. Then we're going to have Tommy Withers in his number 6. We will have an onboard with him as well. Ryan Pinnell out there in that number 12 Hooters machine. James Kerr in his number number 75. That's going to round out our 23 truck field. These guys are going to get rolling pretty soon. We'll go back up and see if we can show you a couple of the guys that we missed. I know Tristan Catania was one of them here in this number 48, and I believe that there was one more. I don't recall exactly who it was, but yeah, these guys are getting ready to all roll off. Let's go ahead and bring up our overall tower so you can see exactly how these guys are gonna get going. But yeah, Stout, listen to me. SWATs. I apologize, not quite sure who you picked, but yeah, who do you got for tonight? Who's looking pretty good to you, and are you excited about Chicago?
So I'm excited about Chicago. It's one of my favorite tracks. I'm kind of disappointed they took it off the NASCAR schedule, but thankfully we can go to iRacing and get some laps done on it. Right now I've been kind of levitating towards Jeremy Brill. He's been really fast the last 3 weeks that we've seen him. He finished third at COTA, was right there in the top 5. The track before that, he's second right now, sitting on that front row. So he's going to be my pick for tonight. I think he's going to get it done and get a win finally. He's been right there in the top 5 battling it out. Been super fast. Led a bunch of laps in both of the races we've seen him in this season. But my dark horses are sitting back in 11th and also sitting in 10th. So 10th and 11th are my dark horses, with Dylan McDonald sitting 10th and that one and only Donald Ray sitting 11th.
All right, I was just giving a little moment of silence there as these guys hop on that throttle. 77, 74, 88, and yeah, it looks like we're going to have 2 88s tonight. But right now, LaJoy, Briel, Meadows, Gaiman, and Sears, your top 5. And man, these trucks sound great. I'm glad we were able to get that audio fixed up for us. Away we go.
This track is kind of tricky. I always liked it because you could ride the bottom, take the short way around the track, but it also slowed you up. You could ride that middle and get a little bit of both what the top and the bottom provide. Then you could ride that the top side, the Kyle Larson, the different driver Reddick, a couple others that really like just sitting up there and rim riding right against the wall, carrying all the momentum they possibly can down these turns and through the straightaways. And this track, I mean, it's not really a straightaway if you look at both the front stretch and back stretch. They're both curved, so it's pretty much a giant kind of egg-shaped circle. It's not really straightaways like we would traditionally see at some of these bigger tracks that are super speedways. But this track, in my book, it's a super speedway. Draft is going to be big tonight. It's got to be there for the guys to be really making moves and making those slide jobs and things like that. So we're going to see a lot of pack racing, I think, as well.
Oh yeah, I actually just brought up the track map sitting on the top right-hand side, and yeah, most everybody's still, in a very, very big pack. I mean, they are too wide in quite a few spots as we continue to go through. Right now, the top 4 have kind of broken away just a little bit, riding on board right now with the 14 of Tom Sears sitting in P number 5, and behind him, SWATs, it is a hornet's nest, as we love to talk about very, very often. How about this onboard looking from behind the 14 now, what he sees ahead, kind of positioned a camera to ride along the rear spoiler. You see the 88 amp machine. Go ahead and pass him on the outside. A little bit of draft help up there.
Yeah, I'm looking at that Taco Bell machine though, sitting out front right now. Jeremy Brill going from second to first, leading some of these first laps here. Joshua Gaiman, last week's winner at COTA, sitting second right now in that 61 Toyota. He's sitting right behind Jeremy. These guys followed each other a lot last week. They were nose to tail for most of COTA, so they should be very familiar with each other. And then Cody Meadows and also the 88 that's appearing on track right now. He also was one of those drivers that was in that front 4, front 5 pack that led a lot of laps around COTA. He's sitting in 5th right now with that one and only Tom Sears that we usually see come from the back P, but he's currently starting up in 5th and now is 4th during this race already in this early part of Chicagoland.
Man, Swatch, you hear these trucks just come buzzing on by. I love the sound of the trucks and the Xfinity. While the next gen looks like it might have some contact. Oh, I'm not quite sure who that was on the outside. Came across the nose
Tom Sears.
Yep, Tom Sears went around, but somebody came across his nose. They are in the grass. Caution number 1 is going to go ahead and fly. I was actually just going to go ahead and pull up the weather tonight, see what these guys have to deal with. As you can tell, it is night, lights are up, and it looks like it's just about a 70-degree track temp and a 69-degree air temp. Swatch, this is very different from what we've been dealing with on Monday nights when we get to the Turn Down for What series. But let's go ahead on back and find out exactly what happened. And
Alex.
We'll pick it up from there. Yep, Alex Zimkowski. Let's go ahead and pick up the chase right along with him. And here we go. Oh, we're going to have to rewind from there.
Oh, I was going to see, as you've seen him try to come through there, he tries to squeeze. They're kind of 3 wide. He's not yet clear to move up to the high line with the truck that's out in front of him, and he tries to just fit between the 2 trucks and misjudges that corner, or Tom came up a little bit. I can't tell. They both kind of went for the same position there. And he makes contact with Tom, and it sends Tom spinning, but I think the 99 probably got the worst of that one.
Yeah, here we are riding with him right now up high, and I'm not quite sure. Let's actually back that up a little bit more, and we will
28 was involved.
Play that. There we go. Yeah, I think the 99 might have come down a little bit. He had a big run on the 88 and didn't realize that the 14 was down there. Maybe the spotter didn't quite yell 3 wide just yet. But he had the 14 underneath him. He was already at the left rear of the 88, and I think the 14 got the brunt of that. But let's go ahead and bring it back live now.
Yeah, the 28 definitely got some damage out of that too. Cody Pinnell sitting there. When the 14 went around, he kind of T-boned him right on the left rear tire. So that 28 is going to have some major front damage as well.
Yeah, 28's definitely going to have some damage. I'm actually going to go ahead on back, try to pick up with him right now. I'm guessing he's showing... Hold on, let me switch this up. What's the name on the 28? Because I think I'm seeing a different number.
Cody Pinnell.
Cody Pinnell, okay. Oh, there you go.
Just as the 14 got turned, it just came. Yeah, he had to go to the back because, like I said, he had some major front end damage. When that 14 got sideways on that front stretch, he just had nowhere to go. Nothing to Cody's fault or anything like that. He just had nowhere to go, and he definitely smashed that front end of his Ford there, right on the left rear of Tom Sears as he spun around there. So. Definitely got some major damage. I don't know, did he go in and fix it or not? I can't tell.
Yeah, when I tried to switch over to Cody Pinnell, it automatically brought me to the scenic camera. So not 100% sure. I think he might have called it a night, or just undergoing reconstruction of his truck. So we'll see if we can catch up with the 28 Ford a little bit later.
It says he manually disconnected already.
So yeah, there we go. All right, so back up front, got a battle of the 77 and the 88 of Joshua Gaiman, Cody Meadows in P3, Donald Ray P4, Tyler Patterson P number 5. Again, guys and gals out there in chat, I apologize for the beginning of this, having to work through a little bit of technical difficulty, but we are back up and running. We are running strong. Nice, clear, clean, sharp picture, and one hell of a race to look forward to tonight. Glad you're here. Thank you very much for your patience.
Trying to look at the 77. That's who won back at it was Vegas or Atlanta, one of the two. Atlanta. Mike LaJoy sitting in that 77 Wells machine. He actually came back and won that race. As we go back green here, he won it by 1.3 seconds. So he's very fast, and that's the first race we saw Jeremy Breault as well, and Matt Kent finished second in that race. So these 3 up here at the top of top 5 already, so these guys are definitely moving.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of funny that talk about moving, they're all single file for the first 5 or 6 trucks. Everybody chasing down the 77. I'm kind of surprised to see him on that very, very bottom line and coming on up, because the higher you go, the more momentum you can carry off the corner. As you see the 88 carrying that big run to the outside of the 77. Maybe going to try to give him a little bit of a pass if he can. 77's going to slide on up, pick up that run. 88's going to go ahead and duck to the inside. 88 should have the preferred line going in, but now they've pretty much just swapped. 77 is going to have that high line momentum. 88's really going to have to watch where he can get back on the throttle. A little bit of a slide job. 77's going to go ahead and look low one more time, Swats.
77 of Michael Joy, he was really, really fast at Atlanta, led a lot of laps. But I was looking at the pits, and I was trying to figure out what happened to Jeremy Brill as him being the leader when that caution came out. He actually came down and took fuel. The front guys here, they're all on the same set of tires, same set of fuel. Some guys did come down and grab fuel and tires. I don't think that Jeremy was one of them, as he was only in for 6.2 seconds, so I'm going to say that was just a fill up and get out of there. But he's already making his way back up through the field. He was sitting about P11 when they did this restart, and he's already sitting P7.
They're riding on board right now with Jeremy Briel in that number 74. Like you said, running very, very fast, had to do whatever he had to do to work his strategy. But Ben Choate also back here in this number 85. I'm sorry, the 01 rather. Kind of an interesting orange on that truck. Kind of liking it. Tristan Catania, one of the last ones to go ahead and get loaded in this number 48 Chevrolet. A couple spots behind him, we find the 29 United States Air Force E-Patriots Chevy Silverado with James Kerr in that number 75 right now in P number 17. If we're going through the field and looking for somebody that's made the biggest moves so far, we'd have to work our way up here to Tyler Patterson. Right now up 13 spots, sitting in P6. And Swats, we're only, 16 laps in after an early caution.
Yeah, only so many laps into this so far. And, I mean, yeah, the one caution, I mean, that's just a little mistake there by the 99 coming down on the 14. But Sears back there still on the lead lap, sitting back in 22nd right now. I am liking that Brill's moving back through the field. Donald Ray in that Pepsi, he's coming too. He started P11. He's up to P5. Cody Riggs started P14 up to P4. Cody Meadows still sitting third in that 88 machine. And Mike LaJoy, who had the pole, sitting second right now. And then Gaiman moved up from fourth to take the lead now. He led a lot of laps right there with Jeremy Brill on Coda. And I don't think Gaiman really liked that. He led all the laps. He got the win, but I don't know if he maybe listened to us and heard us talking about the top four and how Brill was really fast. But I know talking to him after the race and after all the interviews and stuff like that, and he was like, I was just as fast. So maybe he's coming out and putting out a statement tonight. He's going to take this lead and go. Another Pennsylvania boy. As we got another caution, Pete.
Yeah, caution's out one more time. I saw
85.
it. Yep. Kind of saw it just as it was entering the frame. The 85 of Blankenship ended up going around, and I'm not quite sure who or how many others he may have collected. Let's go ahead and go on back and take a look with him.
Ooh, this one's going to be on Jeremy Brill, I think.
Yeah.
Kind of gave the turn to the 85 there.
Yep. And what Jeremy, he tried really, really hard to get on the binders, so he didn't, hit him anymore. Let's actually go ahead and rewind from right there, and we'll actually switch.
He just had a massive run coming through there,
yep.
And he tried to avoid, but it's too much of a run. This draft in this truck is really crazy sometimes. You just get that much of a suck up that you can misjudge it, and that much speed going out of there, he just got that much closer to the bumper, and as he tried to swipe to go to the outside, he just swiped that right rear, and unfortunately it turned the 85 of Jacob Blankenship there.
Yep, we're going to go ahead and ride on board with the left front, and actually, you know what, we're going to go with the left rear. No, because that faces backwards, so we can't do that. We'll go with the left front, rewind it just a little bit further. Stop right there, and let's pick it up. So here you see, and yep, just made some contact, and then you see him try to lock it up. Look at the wheels just completely stop. So Jeremy Brill tried to woe it up, but unfortunately the damage was already done. He tagged the right rear of the 85, sent him kind of careening to the inside, tried to correct it, and it was just no fixing that one. Just a racing incident. That's all that one was. Let's go ahead and bring it back.
I was trying to check ahead of him too, Pete, and I think the 2 checked up, and that's what caused the 85 to check up just as Brill had that run, and it was just a combination of freak incident on track where the 2 checked up, 85 tried to check up, Brill had a big run coming just as he went to swipe to the outside, and all timing was not on their favor.
No, not at all, unfortunately. All right, let's go ahead and switch this up again, bring back our tower. So, guys and gals out there in chat, I see just about 15 right now. Who do y'all have tonight? Is there a fan favorite that y'all are rooting for? Are our picks completely crazy? Who do y'all got out there in chat? So right now, it looks like Daniel Maddox is going to go ahead and pick up the lead in his number 10 Mountain Dew throwback to the one and only Darrell Waltrip. Right behind, you got Cody Meadows in a Dale Jr. throwback. Ben Choate in this number 1 that almost looks like an old Tony Stewart rigid paint scheme. 77 is kind of drawing a little bit of a blank, but that 88 definitely goes back to Matt Crafton.
Yeah, 77, that's Wales, the old hockey team that came back a couple years ago. They actually got rid of Wales before they brought in the Carolina Hurricanes. So that's how the North Carolinians down here, you included, got those Carolina Hurricanes, and
All right. Let's
whatever. My wife's correcting me because I'm not from North Carolina, so apparently I didn't say North Carolinians correct or whatever.
You are 100% right. Yeah, looking back, and yeah, there is that symbol on the hood.
So he's got that Wales emblem. I was trying to look at the one you were just talking about with the orange. I'm not sure what that one is. It kind of does throw you towards what you were talking about with the junior kind of rigid paint scheme, but I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe if he's in the top 3, we can ask him.
Yeah, if you want to bring him up, be my guest. We can certainly ask him. I think it's kind of a Tony Stewart throwback. I mean, it's got the number 1 on it, 01. It's kind of a hand painted 0. Looks pretty cool.
But he is not in any of the chats.
Of course. What about actually, I think they're getting ready to.
They're on 1 to green.
Yeah, go back anyway. So, not a problem.
We can bring in Byron. It won't hurt him.
Yeah, go. We can interrupt him.
No, I'm just messing. We don't need to mess him up. That's your driver. I don't want to mess with him.
He's a strong young man, I tell you.
I did see his graduation pictures today.
I was just going to say, yeah, big congratulations to Byron Jones. Graduating high school, able to buy himself a car, his first car. Young Buck's still trying to save up some money to get a tower. That way he can start broadcasting on his own channel. Kid's got some big plans. He's very, very good at painting these cars and doing all kinds of other things. But here we go. Swats looks like that number 10 was very, very quick to jump on the throttle. We're going back green to start lap number 23.
Yeah, I was trying to look at the drivers right now, and Maddox has not pitted. He's on 15-lap older tires compared to everybody else. From about 8th on back, they did come down. They took tires. There's a couple others. Mike LaJoy, Joshua Gaiman also took tires. But then you have Cody Meadows, Ben Choate, Andrew DeMolin, and Tommy Withers that does not look like they took tires. So that 10's off track going to the back, Pete. Not a good start for him on that one.
No, I'm not quite sure exactly what happened there. I don't know if he got loose or what. I kind of missed him off the corner, but I just saw him down on the apron and falling quickly. Maybe he just stayed out to lead a lap, grab a point, and he knew that there were some hungrier drivers up there. Didn't want to possibly cause an issue, so he just went to the back. But Swats, what about these two leaders? The 77, he's back up front again, and he's got Joshua Gaiman right in his rear view. And these guys are actually getting some separation from third, Cody Meadows.
Yeah, these are your last two winners. So this is the winner from Coda and from Atlanta, the last two winners in this series, and they're going at it. These two are getting a little bit away from everybody else. They're trying to get separation. You know, LaJoy, he's very, very straight and narrow is what I would kind of put him at. I hope he's not offended by it, but you don't see too many blips in his, or, you know, chinks in his armor. He's very steady, doesn't really, you know, wobble the truck, doesn't really make mistakes. Just kind of that steady, you know, go to green and just stay clean truck or type of driver. He doesn't really, you know, give you opportunity. So the 61 of Gaiman's going to really have to pay attention to what the 71's doing if the 71 starts to pull away from that 61.
Kind of paying attention to all these trucks out there, listening to the sounds and watching the sights, seeing how these trucks are just like, you know, flashing every time they go by this lit track. And I'm not saying that to sound hip in new terminology. I'm just absolutely loving the graphics of iRacing from this blimp view and this great traffic that's all behind the 65 and that 88 National Guard AMP Chevrolet.
I mean, the details that iRacing has put in with all the coating that they put in. I mean, you see the flash of the light on the deck lid as they come through the corner. It actually goes from the front nose to the back bumper. You can see the light just pull over the car or the truck. So that much detail into it. I mean, even when you're in the truck, you see, you know, the rubber chunk hit your window or your windshield, and it'll leave that little black mark on your windshield, and you'll have to go get the tear off. I mean, there's so many details they put into iRacing that's why you hear a lot of the NASCAR drivers, and I mean even other type of drivers, modifieds and super late models and things like that say, you know, this is the most realistic thing you can do besides going and getting inside of a NASCAR vehicle and driving on track. As close as you can get. As much detail they put in, it's insane, Pete.
Absolutely insane, and I'm loving it. I mean, we spent several years together on console, Heat 3, Heat 4, Heat 5. You know, I go all the way back to NASCAR 09, and a lot of people were saying they had wished they had brought back NASCAR 09, just updated the graphics, give it a new engine, and let it go. But you know, EA Sports, they held on to that gem very, very tightly. Can you imagine a lot of these guys just saying, hey, bud, go to my locker, grab the setup, let's go to the track, we'll do some testing. Oh, by the way, here's the paint scheme. Go ahead and grab that from my locker as well for the different teams. Some of these guys, they might have been too young to remember it. But, man, one thing they don't lack is the ability to wheel these things around here no matter what they're on. As the top two continue to pull away, there's a third place driver right now here in Donald Ray. He's kind of like the go-between. He's just about got the draft of the top two, and then there's quite a big separation back to fourth place right now, Tristan Catania. But that's, oh, by the way, up 13 spots, and it looks like there's going to be some more contact in the back. I think Byron Jones might have got into someone as well. He's going to go ahead and hold it on down there on the apron. So far, no caution. Let's see if we can go back and find out what happened.
Yeah, Pete, I was going to say Donald Ray is actually the fastest on track now by about a tenth and a half, 2 tenths over the leader. So he's coming. Yeah, I think Byron got into the 3.
Yep. Watching right now from the rear deck lid of the 3. Actually, yeah, I don't know what happened here. It kind of looked like Byron was down on the apron. The 3 came down. Not 100% sure, but great save either way by both of those guys.
Byron stayed in his lane, didn't go to the apron. He just stayed on that bottom line. And the 3 must have thought that Byron went to the apron.
Yeah.
And tried to go down there with him and just didn't know Byron was there. So unfortunately, Byron took the brunt of that one.
Yeah. So looks like the 29's gonna fall back to about P7.
Never mind the 3. He's left down, so he took the brunt.
Yeah, 3 of Cody Riggs Here he is. He's actually just coming off pit road. So he figured, you know what? I slid him around. Let's go on down pit road, grab 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods, fill it up with that Sunoco E15 racing fuel, and bring it on back out. And doing a great job.
Yeah, looking out front though, Joshua Gaiman became that new leader while we were back there talking, and him and the 77, they've been kind of working with each other, but every time they get side by side, Donald Ray creeps in, and actually the lap times start to change, as where Gaiman and LaJoy are running about 31.5s, but when they get side by side, Ray is running about a tenth or two faster than them. So as we see the 77 go now side by side with the 61 as they come across the checker.
Yeah, 77 and
Caution.
Yep, there it is. So let's see if I get some information on the caution here.
I'm not seeing it.
Yep. You know what? This might be lap 35. I think that's going to be the stage break. So you know the 3 going down, that could actually prove to be huge for him, because a lot of guys did not. They didn't pit with 2 to go. So a lot of guys are still out here, and we might see that 3 up front now.
Well, him and Withers are both a lap down. They should be able to stay out. Both of them pitted on the same lap. I don't know what happened to Tommy, or if he just decided, I'm not going to wait for the stage break. I'm just going to go down and get my tires and then take the wave around. So Cody and Tommy should be able to take the wave around. But, I mean, it is a benefit for them that they both just took tires and everything to where they can take that wave around. If, Cody hadn't come down and taken tires and everything, he would have had to come down now, and he would have still been a lap down, which means he just stayed a lap down. So luckily, he was able to go down, get tires, get fuel, and then come back out on track, and the stage break be right here.
There you go. So here we are riding around right now with the 77 of LaJoy. He's going to go ahead and duck on in. Joshua Gaiman, Donald Ray, Jeremy Brill, Tristan Catania, and everybody else so far staying out. We'll go ahead and jump back with Patrick Allen, that 45 Rogue machine. Looks like he's down the apron. He's going to go ahead and bring it on down as well. Let's go back with that 3. So yeah, Cody Riggs right now in this Camping World Good Wrench Performance Parts Chevrolet Silverado going to go ahead and stay out. So I imagine, he'll go ahead and grab the wave around. And we'll try to grab a word, if we can, with whoever's leading once this all cycles through. Right now it's showing to be the 48 of Tristan Catania. Let's see here.
Look, Tristan Catania did not take a full pit stop. 6.9 seconds, Pete. That's fuel only. So he's saving an extra set of tires. He's currently set at 5th, or P5. So that's kind of a weird strategy.
Yeah. Well, let's actually go ahead and see if we can't grab a quick word with Tristan. Tristan, it is Repeat and SWAT's up in the booth, buddy. You got a copy?
Hey, yes I do. What's going on, guys?
Well, I'll tell you what, been a pretty interesting beginning to the race. SWAT's was noticing while we're under caution that you had a pretty quick pit stop. You want to share a little bit of knowledge with us, or you want to kind of keep it to yourself and say, in case your competition...
No, I'll share, because it's not a very good strategy. I accidentally burned a set of tires before on one of my pit stops, so I only took 2 tires. So this is going to be a slow start for me, I think, but we'll see what happens.
I did notice it, and I was sitting here thinking, I'm like, that's an odd strategy, so... Yeah, burning a set of tires early on, that makes sense now to just try to take rights. You might have to suffer for a little bit, take another set of lefts later on or something, and be short a set of rights. But, I mean, if you have another caution here within the next 5-10 laps, you could be able to come down and just grab that set of lefts and let them equal out later on and then be good to go. But good luck with it. It's a bold strategy, but you're up in P5, so it's not a terrible decision, I guess.
No, it could be a lot worse, for sure.
So now, Chicago Motor Speedway is not really known to be a tire destroying track. Do you think you have enough in the lefts to hold you down if you decide that you want to try to get a little bit of high line momentum, or do you think that's where you may end up anyway in order to keep up with the guys that took 4?
To be honest, I'm really not sure because you're right, it's not known to destroy tires, but tires really do make a difference. I mean, if you watch earlier on, one of the other pit stops, Profit, Tommy Withers in the 6 car, my teammate there, he didn't take tires, I did, and he just dropped back. So tires definitely do make a difference, even if they don't necessarily get destroyed. So it could really go either way here.
There you go. All right.
Starting up front, though, is going to be a good thing for you.
Yeah. Just hope I get a good jump here.
Well, man, go ahead and get on that loud pedal before that 77 to your outside. We definitely wish you a lot of luck. And ladies and gents, that was the driver of the 48, Tristan Catania. He's got the he's got the entire field in his rear view. 88's been strong, 77 to the outside. He was very fast. 74 now, back up a little bit closer to where he started. He's only 2 spots behind where he qualified, as well as the 5 of Donald Ray. So, Swats, what kind of chances did you give that 48 to maintain some kind of decent track position after only changing 2?
I think he'll be able to hold him off for a little while. Eventually, his lefts are going to give out, and he's going to start to fall back. But being the leader and getting the jump like he just did, he got a massive jump on the rest of the field, took off. So he's going to have a good bit. He's almost got a half second on second place right now. But they're going to get built up, and they're going to come flying by him. If he can hold within a top 10 on a full green run, I would count that as a win, with being able to save that extra set of tires and only taking rights.
Yeah, well, looks like the 88's going to go ahead and make pretty quick work. So the 48 was able to lead a lap under caution. Here comes the 74, throwing that machine down low. It's going to wash up right behind the 88. The 48 is going to be able to maintain the high line and drop back to P number 4, Matthew Kent right now. He's going to go ahead and try to challenge to the inside in that PepsiCo machine. 77 right behind, a little bit of a shot to the back bumper. 65 now back up into the mix, and so is the 88 of Cody Meadows. Whole lot of traffic back here. 31 wheeling and dealing, a little bit of looseness coming off the corner. 77 down low.
Yeah, he's not looking out for the first lap here. That's a lot of cars to go by him in the first lap, but once the heat gets built up in some of these guys around him, that's why I was saying if he can hang on in that top 10 position, right now he's falling back to 6th, 7th, 8th as the cars keep coming by, as now the 85 is going to come around underneath him. He's going to fall to about 10th right now just in this second lap, and he's got more coming. So the heat's going to build up, and he's going to start being able to stay with these guys, but until the heat builds up, he's going to fall pretty far down the line here.
Yeah, watching more and more. I mean, these guys are slicing and dicing all over the place. You see the 48 now, he's going to fall victim to the 12 of Ryan Pinnell. He's going to take that Ford F-150 low. Man, yeah, he is dropping like a rock, Swats.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe he's babying it a little bit. You don't see him going down to the bottom line. You see him staying in that midline. So I don't know if he's trying to baby a little bit to try to conserve what he does have on that left side, to try to hold on once they start building up heat in all the other guys' tires, to where then he can be steady. But I mean, this run here for him is going to be tough. As long as he can stay on the lead lap, he can get that next set of tires. If a caution comes out, he can grab that extra set of tires. But right now, it doesn't seem like he's really smashing that pedal like the rest of them. So I'm going to guess that he might be conserving tire a little bit.
Well, I tell you what, if he is, he's there's some people that have run up very, very fast on the back end of that 48, and man, if he's purposely going 5 to 10 mile an hour slower, he's gonna have to kind of get a move on it if he can. But yeah, I mean, like you said, he went from leading under caution to now sitting P17. He's got the 40 of Elric George right to his inside. The next truck is going to be the 29 of Byron Jones. But I think I think Byron, he's either pedaling it or didn't get everything that he needed going down pit road. He's slowly, kind of off the pace. And if we look around the right hand side of that Silverado, actually see if he's got any damage. You would have kind of imagined he would with the speed he's going. No, he's just maybe just didn't get that great of a jump on the restart. Well, let's go ahead and jump back up front with the 61, actually showing the 88 on screen for Mr. Gaiman, and show you the rest of the field as well.
Yeah, that 5 of Donald Ray that I was talking about before, he's definitely coming as he's getting underneath Gaiman right now, going through turn 1, or going into turn 1. The 61, he's going to fall back into second. Brialt's coming back through the field. Now he's up into third. So Brialt trying to make his way back up to the front.
Yeah, here comes Brialt in that number 74 Ford F-150. Got the 77 and the 31 of Matt Kent. Again, that beautiful PepsiCo machine as he's playing a little bit of magic on the rest of the field. Behind him is going to be Andrew Jamalin in that number 65, and then the true 88 out there, Cody Meadows in that AMP National Guard machine. Kind of interesting how they all migrate into one line, Swats. What's that?
I was thinking about Donald Ray. He was my dark horse, if you remember. I kind of always seemed to gravitate towards that 5 and that 38, but Donald I talked to in a different league. He's actually in that Monday night league that I'm broadcasting for, along with the 38 also. So I see Donald back up here. We saw him in those first 2 or 3 races. He was always right here in the top 5 battling it out. But ever since Brialt and LaJoy and Meadows has really kind of taken over and just kind of been up front, as tonight we see Gaiman, Brialt, we see LaJoy. Meadows is right there in 7th. The points leader, Kent, is sitting 5th. Blankenship sitting 8th. Tom Sears sitting 9th. They've kind of, pushed him back further down the line. And tonight he's just taken over. He's going right to the front. He started P11, so big mover. Biggest mover up in the top 5. I'm trying to look through the rest of the field. James Kerr is another one. We saw, the first 3 races, he was pretty much dominating, being right up there in the top 3, leading laps, all that kind of stuff. Haven't seen him in too many races the last couple weeks, and now, right now he's sitting P11. So, but he started P23, so 12 spots up.
Yeah, he's got the 12 to his inside. He's doing a little bit of blinking. Looks like he kind of realized that his screen was going in and out, so he let the guys go on by. That way, if he did come back up on track, he didn't collect anybody else. Good job by him, and these guys are going to be able to race on. Swats is kind of interesting, and I didn't mean to talk over you when I said this, but everybody inside about the top 10, top 11 are all single file. Nobody's really racing side by side as they come down the front stretch, except for these guys a little bit further in the back between the 75 and the 01 of Ben Choate.
Yeah, the guys up front, I think they understand that this is a long race. I mean, they still got, we're just over halfway, so you still got a minimum of 2 stops, most likely, coming that these guys are going to have to do. So just trying to get away from everybody. The further away you can get away from the field, you guys can kind of battle it out at the end. If it goes green, you're going to want to try to stretch it out. And the more battling you do side by side, the more the guy out in front of you that's single file in those draft packs are just going to stretch away from you. So the guys back in the middle, those guys aren't going to settle for the middle. They're going to want to try to get up front too. So they're going to be making passes. This is where, your benefit of going hard right off the bat of a restart, you're going to burn those tires up, but you're going to make up some positions and you might fall back a little bit. Or you could be the guy that saves tires and conserves and loses positions off the restart, but then later on in the run makes up those positions and comes flying through. Donald Ray now in pits, Pete.
That kind of curious.
Yeah, only 18 laps into the run.
Maybe he kind of got into his fuel window and said, you know what, if we get a green flag run, I'll be able to make it from here as we jump on board with him. Looks like the right side just went on up, waiting on the lefts. Yep, there goes the lefts, dropped, just waiting on the fuel now. And
Be a 44 lap run. I don't think he can make that.
um,
That was only an 18 lap run, so
that was kind of a
yeah,
curious stop.
that was an odd one.
Yeah, I actually
that's
went
gonna
up.
put him a lap down.
Yeah, kind of went on board with him. Not exactly sure. It seemed like the rights went up and then the lefts, and the rights went up. I wonder if he might have just had a little bit of an issue on pit road right there. Well, let's go ahead and catch back up with our leader, and that's now going to be the 74 of Briault. He's got the 88.
Under
60.
fire.
Yeah. You got the 61, but you guys are seeing the 88 on screen. Joshua Gaiman, and then Mike LaJoy in that number 77. He's been inside this top 5 just about all race long. And a nice little battle here between the 88 and the 65. And then the 85 of Jacob Blankenship right behind him. And there's that PepsiCo machine hanging back just a little bit to round out your top 7. Oh, Swats, these guys are swapping positions over and over. I'm loving it.
Yeah, I don't know. These 3 here, they've kind of pulled away. There's about 6 of them that are kind of in a little pack here, but these 3 up front, they're dicing all over the place trying to make passes. And these 3, LaJoy and Gaiman, these are your 2 past winners. Cody Meadows, Briault, they led a lot of laps at COTA, right with Gaiman as well, who ended up winning COTA. The top 4 right now is stacked. But Andrew Jamalin, we haven't really talked about him very much throughout the season, but he's sitting P5 right now, coming from P12. Actually, just disappeared.
Yeah, he just something happened. He went up and either hit that wall or something happened. But yeah, that
maybe I should stop talking about drivers.
Yeah, Andrew Jamalin in that number 65. He's got to come down pit road. He'll be lucky if his motor doesn't expire. Yeah.
I mentioned Donald Ray and he pits. Now I mentioned Jamalin and he hits the wall. So I'm gonna have to watch who I talk about, I guess. But we got some more drivers coming down pit road. Pete Matt Kent on pit road, 23 laps into the run. Byron Jones, 23 laps into the run on pit road as well. I think it was 20 to 25, if I remember correctly, for the fuel window. So this is right, in their window. But this is going to leave, 39 laps on the race. You're going to have to make another pit stop. Do you want to split it? That might be what Donald Ray was thinking is, I'll pit now, and then I'll split it on a full run later on, instead of having to come down, get tires, and then split it with still fresh tires, and then come down and get another set. So that might be what he was doing. He might prove us wrong, come back here and win this thing.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I actually just brought up the graphics showing everybody that is on pit road as they come on down. You see their total pit time followed by their pit stop time, and right now you see the 14. There's Blankenship and others as they continue to cycle through. I can't imagine that people are going to stay out when they know there's other guys coming up behind them on fresh tires.
I'm seeing, I thought it was 20 to 25 laps, but Briault and LaJoy are running 26th lap now. And it doesn't look like they're going to pit, so they're going for lap 27. If they could go another, here they come down pit road, so this is going to be it. Leaders pitting, but I was trying to think, if they could go another 5-6 laps, that could put them real close to finishing off the race. Now you're looking at, still 35 laps. You just ran 27. That's going to be another short pit towards the end, unless you mid-pit and try to just stay on fresh tires all the way through. But that could bring some strategy, Pete. You could see some guys throwing in right sides, but we did see that 48 struggle on right sides as the 74 misses his pit stop, or misses his pit stall.
Very, very unfortunate for that 74. Jeremy Briault just had to kind of back it up just a little bit.
And got some major damage to that rear, too.
More and more going down pit road. Here comes the 40 of Elric George. Guys and gals out there, if you remember the name Boss E-Geo, this is who it is. Byron Jones coming back in again. I'm going to guess that was a black flag.
I'm looking at this pit stop to figure out what happened with the 74. He actually didn't blow his pit stall. He got pushed through his pit stall. The 77, as he went to duck in, The 74 was ducking in, and they were still on the pit road lane instead of the pit actual boxes, and it made contact and put that giant dent in the back of Briault, which also put a dent on the front of the 77 and pushed the 77 or 74 through his pit stall.
You know what, Swats? I think we were both way off on fuel because that 40, kind of keeping an eye on Boss. He is just now crawling into his pit stop. I hope he didn't short it because he was out of gas. So very unfortunate.
Run.
Yep. So very unfortunate for Boss. Hopefully, again, he didn't short it. Nope. He is. I think the 40 is done for the night. So let's go ahead and catch back up with our leader right now. It appears to be the 61 or 88 that y'all are seeing on the screen of Joshua Gaiman. Donald Ray, your pick, sitting right there behind him. Jacob Blankenship sitting in P number 3 in this number 85. Ryan Pinnell in this number 12 Hooters machine sitting P number 4. And then Matthew Kent still in this PepsiCo machine under attack from the 77-74 and that 14 of the other Pinnell. I'm sorry, Tom Sears, excuse me. Trying to battle back after that very early caution issue.
Yeah, I'm looking at the times here. LaJoy had a 15.2 stop. Briault had a 14.1, but LaJoy did come out in front of Briault by about a second. So I'm not sure how that happens. If LaJoy had a 1 second slower stop, and well, actually, never mind, because Briault got pushed through his stall, so he had to back up. That's how it happens, right there on pit road. But yeah, Briault and LaJoy coming through the field. Briault just made a pass on LaJoy, puts him in 6th. About 2 lap fresher tires than the leader of Gaiman, but they're sitting about 6.5 seconds back from the leader right now. Donald Ray about 1.5 seconds, but he's got 5 lap older tires than the leader.
Yeah, picking back up with Donald Ray, and he's got.
Blankenship just got by Donald Ray.
Yep. Blankenship right now sitting about 7/10 back from the leader. Joshua Gaiman, he just seems like he is in the come sail away mood. He's just completely pulling further and further away. Chicago seems to suit Joshua very well. We'll have to see if Jacob Blankenship can actually catch up to him either by draft or by different line. You've got to try different things when you're not faster. Working lap 70, SWAT. So unless a caution comes out, everybody will be on pit road one more time. And I imagine that'll just be a top off. I don't imagine anybody will be trying anything with tires unless you get one hell of a stop.
I mean, that's where I'm kind of questioning Donald Ray's strategy there, because he pitted way before everybody else, about 6 laps for most. And I mean, if he runs a full fuel run, he's gonna have to take tires. And even if he doesn't, and he tries to short pit everybody, do you still come out and not take tires? I mean, we've seen the tires be a big advantage on fresh tires and a huge disadvantage even on just rights. We saw the 50 or 48 start from the lead on a restart and fell all the way to 17th by lap 3 after that restart. So, I mean, that's a huge fall off on just right side tires alone. You come down and don't take any tires and you have to short pit everybody because you pitted earlier, that's going to be a huge fall off. I don't see how he doesn't come get tires.
Yeah, speaking of the 48, actually on board with him right now. He's up, 3 spots from where he qualified. He stayed out. He didn't stay out. He took just 2 tires, thought it might be a good idea, or I think he's actually said he made a mistake. And he ended up dropping
earlier.
Yeah, he ended up dropping back a whole lot further than he planned. He went from the lead to about P17 within 2 laps. As we watch a battle right now with the 38 and the 29 of Byron Jones side by side. 48 just waiting to see which line's going to move.
Yeah, back up to the front, though. Jacob Blankenship closed in on the leader, Joshua Gaiman, He's actually closed down to about 2/10, got part of that draft, and just started sucking up closer and closer to that 61 of Gaiman, and now he's at the back bumper. These two are pulled way out in front of everybody. They got about a 5-second lead over Donald Ray sitting P3, and that lead is growing very, very quickly. It's actually now 5.5 seconds, just a half a turn through there. So it's pretty big advantage here. Now 85 is taking a look underneath the 61 for the lead. 61 going to try to side draft him a little, pull him back, but 85 is going to be able to clear him going into turn 1 as they pass a lap down car of that 27.
Whoa, we got contact.
Oh, the 10 turns.
Oh,
That's the leaders. No caution.
No caution, though. It looks like so far 85 and the 61 is just passing, passing a lap down car going through a turn. Oh man, just judge that.
Huge for Donald Ray and Tom Sears and Cody Meadows. They're both closing in on the leader right now as they go by. That puts Donald Ray, Tom Sears, Cody Meadows, and Jeremy Brill back up to the top 4. That's a huge blow to those two that were way out in front with a lap down car, and they're making contact with Blankenship. I don't know if you're able to go back and look at that, but that was a huge just disadvantage for the leaders there as they went 3 wide kind of into turn 1 with the 27 and the 10.
Let me see if it will let me. 1 second. All right, 1 second.
That's going to put the race in Donald Ray's hands. That's going to be the huge advantage he needed. That's the huge break he needed right there with pitting early.
Nope, it's unfortunately because the caution didn't come out, it's not going to show.
All the way back to the contact, which is way up the list.
Yeah. All right.
We got a car through the grass, Pete.
Yep.
3 going through the grass.
Yep. We actually caught back up with the 3 just as we were switching through the cars. Now let's go ahead and bring it back live.
Oh, that puts the leader, Joshua Gaiman, back to 15th, 1 lap down. And the other leader that was battling right there with him, Jacob Blankenship, down 3 laps now, sitting back in 21st. That's a huge blow to this race. Those two were way out in front. Almost 5.5 seconds over 3rd place, and now they're, at the back half of the field, laps down. This is going to be huge. Donald Ray now in pits, though. Pete just came down.
Yeah, Donald Ray's gonna have to fix that up. Meanwhile, at the front, Cody Meadows and Tom Sears, they've been fighting it out for the lead. 88 coming on up just a little bit. 14, he's staying in the throttle. Right behind them is going to be Jeremy Briol. He's got some damage to the right-hand side of this machine as well as the back, but hanging right there with him. 88, he's going to have the draft of some lap cars. Let's actually go ahead and show you where everybody is on the track. Their truck number is in the circle right now. That way, if you're watching, looking for your favorite driver, favorite truck number, you can see where they are. And this 1488 and this 74 battling very, very hard, Swats.
I won't count the 5 out. He just pitted there. He was the one that we were talking about that short pitted everybody last time, just short pitted everybody again, out on fresh tires. Nobody else has pitted besides Tommy Withers and Cody Riggs in that 3 who slid through the grass as we were coming back from the action with the leaders there. Donald Ray now sitting on fresh tires is good to go the rest of the race. He's going to have a huge advantage on tires as everybody else is running about 1.5 seconds slower lap times than he is on those fresher tires. Everybody else has to pit, remember, so he's going to probably be the leader when this is over with, right there with Gaiman, who just pitted as well. 1 lap fresher tires 1 lap older tires than Donald Ray. So those two are going to be battling out here as we get through these pit stops.
Yeah, and we just watched him come up off the corner and pull low on the 45 and just blow by him like he was standing still. So and I think the 45 is also going to come on down pit road. That's Patrick Allen. Yep, there he comes in that Rogue Energy Silverado. So we're going to start seeing more and more come on down pit road. There's the 29 Patriot Esports Silverado for Byron Jones making his last pit stop. It looks like Tristan Catania back here in this number 48. He's coming off pit road for his final pit stop. Jeremy Briol and Andrew Jamalin in this number 65. As you see the right-hand side go up, that's going to be his last stop as well. swats everybody in for their last stops. I want to give a big thank you out there to Moldy Muskrat, Insane Skills, Porter Racing, and others for the follow. Definitely appreciate you guys coming out, hanging out, chatting it up, keeping us company. Swats and I absolutely appreciate it.
Yeah, Pete, I'm actually looking through the thing here, or the standings and the pit stops and everything, and this might be a huge, I'm going to call it now, this is a huge blessing for Joshua Gaiman. Him getting contact with that lap down car when the 85 got turned and having to come down pit road and using his fast repair that he had, he was able to take 4 tires and fuel, and he's actually going to probably wind up being the leader again once these fuel stops get done under green. Donald Ray was the next guy in line sitting third when those two had contact with that lap down car, and he took over the lead and then pitted. But if we look at the pit stops after the green flag stops that they did, Joshua Gaiman came out 2 positions in front of Donald Ray. He's now sitting P6, 1 lap down with the rest of the top 5 still to pit, Pete.
Yeah, so there, man, you're 100% right.
Huge.
Yeah, it can absolutely be huge depending on how it all works out. So it's gonna be really interesting to see what exactly or how it all sorts itself out on track. Obviously, when you come out on track with 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods, you feel like Superman. You're clicking off faster lap times than you were before. You're catching guys. You're getting a little bit of a draft off the truck in front. You just saw the 88 come on by. You had a little bit of a pull off of the AMP 88. These guys are going to have to fix their truck numbers, but more and more.
I'm not sure. Your paint schemes might be off. Mine's correct. I'm seeing the 61.
Are you? Okay, so yeah. All right, might have just been a little bit of the issue we had when we first started.
Yeah,
but
it just didn't refresh.
Yeah, it didn't refresh. But
Ben Choate's on pit lane now, so that's going to put Gaiman up into P5 with still 4 guys to pit. 23 lap old set tires. We know they can run 27. That's the max. 28 is when we saw the driver earlier run out of fuel and didn't make it to his pit stall. So 27 is probably the max for these guys, and they're pushing it right now to get to that 27, hoping for a caution maybe. But that 61 is coming, and like I said, that's going to be a blessing in disguise that there was no caution, and he was able to run down in there, get 4 tires, fix his car or truck, and get back out on track in front of Donald Ray, who was sitting third.
Yeah, I'm still watching these pit times crawl across the bottom of your screen. The 3 truck and others still, doing what they've got to do to make it to the end. Cody Meadows looks like in the AMP 88 on pit road, just now leaving his pit stall, as it looks like the number 2 truck, he's going to come on down and hit pit road for his last stint. Let's see if we can catch up with the 2.
Yeah, I think if we could steal something from good old Rick James,
yeah,
this is the Cole Trick movie of the race. It's that astonishing to me that the 61 was involved in that crash, was able to, where the crash happened, allowed him to just come down pit road and get that fast repair 4 sets or that new 4 tires and fuel, and he's going to be the leader with 10 laps to go. It's insane to me. He's got a 3-second lead over what's going to eventually be second place of Donald Ray right now. And it blows my mind that the 61 is actually going to be the leader after being involved in a wreck with no caution, front end damage, and was able to come down pit road at that very moment and get at the perfect time. It couldn't have happened at a more perfect time for him at the set amount of laps that needed to the rest of the race to make it. It just falls perfectly into Gaiman's lap, and he could take this away, Pete, and this will be 2 races in a row that he will win, as he's our last week's winner at COTA.
Yeah, Donald Ray right now sitting 2.2 seconds behind. So, Donald Ray, he would have to make up a lot of time. And as I watch the time on track, and y'all see it there as well on the scoring pylon, he's actually, he'll gain a little bit, but then he loses a little bit. He gains a little bit and loses a little bit. So Gaiman, Ray, and Briault, they're all staying similar. There's no real. I think the only way that they're going to possibly catch Gaiman is if those two can get together, hook up, and really start pushing and draft their way up. Because, I mean, Ray, he's down to 1.8. Brialt, he's down to 2 seconds flat. So I think they might be catching just a little bit. It could be that the 61 really was pushing, but with 9 laps to go, I don't see them catching. I don't see them catching them.
I mean, it's going to be close, Pete. The 74 and 5, they are making up time, and as that driver just went by the leader, they were side by side. And as we saw earlier, when trucks get side by side, it allows the cars behind them to make up ground. But now you got the 74 and 5 side by side. 74's got 4 or 5 lap fresher tires than the 5 does. The 5 has only 1 lap fresher tires than the leader. The 74 is the truck that's coming. He's running about a half second faster than the leader. He's down to almost 1 second already with still 7 laps to go, Pete. It's close enough that he could possibly make it up. If he continues to run half second faster laps, it's going to be coming down to that last 2 laps on if he gets to the back bumper of Gaiman. And these two were the ones that were right there at the end of the race last week at Coda, and Brialt was able to bring it home third. Gaiman was able to win it. Our second placeman, I don't even see him in the race tonight. So, but Brialt, he was my pick. So it's going to be close. It's getting closer and closer. Now he's down to 6/10, Pete.
Yeah, down to 6/10, and it looks like Meadows. Actually, here is the battle right now for P number 2. We're going to go ahead and bring.
I didn't even see Meadows coming.
Yep, we're going to go ahead and bring. Get a little bit closer in on this.
Laps pressure tires in the 74. He's coming. He's going to take it.
Down to 4/10. Down to 1/10.
He's got his draft.
He is there.
He's done. It's over. He's going to pass him.
Yes.
The 74, I think, is still going to catch the 61 and make that pass too. We got 5 laps to go. I don't think the 74 is going to be able to run down that 88 of Cody Meadows. But remember, Cody Meadows was part of that top 4 last week, or top 5, that was pulled away from everybody at Coda and then wound up, I think he slipped on like turn 4 or something like that and spun it around in the grass and was able to still bring it home in the top 10. But the big recovery for him, he's going to pull away. I don't see the rest of the field catching him. The rest of the field's going to have to wait for that caution, which unfortunately we're not allowed to say because it brings out the caution, but you got to say it. I mean, 5 laps to go. Meadows is stretching it. He's already almost out to a second lead over second and third. Brialt's right on the back bumper of Gaiman now.
Yeah, I really think that that Gaiman really pushed that Toyota really, really hard to gain a huge time advantage and ended up, just wearing him out. That's the only thing I can think of because, like we mentioned to the 48 during that caution, Chicago is not known to tear apart tires. So I really think that he was barely burping that truck getting into the corners and then really slamming on that gas coming off, and he might have just burnt them up a little too early as we watch Jeremy Brialt now looking underneath.
Yeah, I mean, fresh tires in the draft, you can run 30.6s. That's the fastest lap on the track right now by Mike LaJoy. And in the draft on older tires, you'll run 1 second to 2 seconds slower. You might see 2.5 seconds slower depending on how they're driving it real late in the run, but I mean, 2.5 seconds is a huge deal, Pete. So having Meadows be 12 lap fresher tires than Gaiman being the leader, he was just able to run them down. And I mean, he ran it all the way to the very end, clearly, on his fuel, and then pitted. Gaiman, I mean, he had to pit with getting into that wreck, and there was no caution. He was able to slide down pit road, get that fast repair, get the tires, fuel, and it kind of fell into his lap. I mean, he's still going to bring it home top 3 and got wrecked with 20 laps to go. So I count that as a huge win for him to win last week, come tonight, get wrecked with 20 laps to go, and still is going to bring it home in the top 3.
Absolutely. Great job by a whole lot of people. I mean, there were a couple of instances where there might have needed to be a caution, but Swats, this is it. This is the white flag lap up here with the 88 of Cody Meadows. He is all amped up in this Silverado, going through the corner, coming off, getting down the backstretch, which you mentioned earlier, not so straight. Nobody anywhere near him. Almost a 4-second lead back to P number 2, Joshua Gaiman.
LaJoy's going to turn the 74 and move him up off the track.
Very
14 and 77 are now going after the second place, coming to the finish line. Oh, it's gonna be close. I think the 77 got him for second.
Looks like right now it's going to be Cody Meadows, Joshua Gaiman, and Mike LaJoy. Tom Sears with a huge comeback after that very, very early spin down into the grass when he and another were fighting for track position. So great recovery by this number 14 ARCS.com Toyota Tundra TRD. Phenomenal drive by Tom Sears. And to round out your top 5 is going to be Jeremy Briault in that number 64 machine.
Briault and Sears, that was a battle to come to the end for third place, Pete. I wish we could go back and take a look at that. It was so close. Briault and Sears and Donald Ray, they were all battling right there for third place with Mike LaJoy. Briault moved, LaJoy moved Briault just a little bit up the track and out of the way. Briault was trying to make the block, and LaJoy moved him up the track just a little bit, which allowed LaJoy and Sears to get by Briault. But it was down to the front bumper between LaJoy and Sears as they came across for third place there. So LaJoy eking out third place just by a little bit. It's probably down to hundreds as they went across that finish line, Pete.
There you go. So how about this number 88 amp machine completely burning them down at the start stripe? Big congratulations to Cody Meadows getting it done. He had the tires to be able to make it the rest of the way, and big congrats to him. That's pretty cool. He got right up next to the wall. You see the eyes of the Ninja Turtles next to the Chicagoland Speedway front stretch. Not too shabby at all, Swats.
Yeah, I wish they would have got rid of this track.
Yeah, me too. It's interesting now how it's considered a legacy track. Very unfortunate. But all right, ladies and gents, we will be right back. We'll have our top 3 in the booth to go over their race, and what an exciting finish. We thought the 61 of Joshua Gaiman was going to have it in the bag. Cody Meadows able to come on strong. Mike LaJoy is going to go ahead and finish P3 again. Tom Sears, Jeremy Briault, Donald Ray, Matt Kent, James Kerr, Tommy Withers, and Ryan Pennell going to round out your top 10. Alex Zimkowski, Tristan Catania, Dylan McDonald, Ben Choate, and Byron Jones, your top 15. Tyler Patterson, Andrew Jamalin, Cody Riggs, Daniel Maddox, Patrick Allen is going to be your top 20. So great race by all. Here's your finishing order. And again, guys, we will be right back with our top 3 in the booth for post race. All right, guys and gals, thank you very much for hanging with us. Got our top 3 in the booth. Are going to start off with driver 77, Mike LaJoy, in that Chevy Silverado. Swats, I think you got him down there, don't you?
Yeah. Let's see. Mike, you got a copy, buddy?
Hey, I got you. Yeah.
Hey, we saw you 2 weeks ago win at Atlanta. You came out tonight. You got the pole, led a bunch of laps. You were there at the end. You guys were coming with really fast trucks at the end, pitted later than some of the leaders there. Give us a little walkthrough of the race for yourself from the start to finish there, and then we can talk about that finish for sure.
Sure, yeah. I felt really good putting it on the pole to start the race. Felt fast early, ended up getting the stage win. And then I felt pretty good going into the second half of the race there, and somewhere around lap 60-something, 64 maybe, when we came in under green flag stops, I think it was me and the 74 were coming down pit road together, back-to-back pit stalls, and it looked like we had already come all the way down into the pit stalls where usually there's not any contact that you can have happen, and I ended up getting 30 seconds of damage on the green flag stop there. So when we came back out from there, I ran like 15, 20 laps kind of underpowered, and I feel like I lost a lot of time there. And I tried to short pit it a little bit, get in there, get my fast repair, and maybe try to make something happen. So I'm happy to salvage third. But a little bit of bad luck getting some damage on pit road that I think maybe cost me second or first.
Yeah, we did notice when we went back, or at least I went back and looked for Pete, and I noticed that you guys were going into your pit stalls, and I was kind of confused on how you pushed the 74 through his pit stall when it looked like you guys were already in your pit stalls and off that surface on pit road that usually where you can have the damage, and it definitely gave some, gave the 74 looking like he backed into a pole, and it gave you some definitely front end damage, so. A little bit of a hiccup maybe for iRacing just registering that damage, but I mean you bring it back, you come home third. You and the 74 battled on that last lap. You gave a little bit of a move and a bump to the 74 as he was kind of throwing the block on that last lap, which I mean as he should. Hard racing there between you guys. Moved him up the track a little bit, and then that allowed Tom Sears to get right to you, and you guys were like, I mean it was front bumper difference coming to that line as you guys came across. Did you know Tom was right there with you?
Yeah,
or
yeah, he was pushing me for like a full lap or two, and he must have pitted after me because he was coming with a full head of steam. So I was kind of surprised that I beat him to the line. I was kind of surprised he didn't pass me any earlier than that. So I was glad to sneak it in front of him there. When the 74 gave me that block going down the backstretch, honestly, I was kind of zoning out, just running my line, and I didn't even realize we had taken the white. So I was like, man, he's throwing a hard block here. And then we got to the corner. I was like, oh, we're on the last lap. No wonder he's doing that. So, I didn't want to make any contact going into the corner there, but he was squeezing me, and I was coming in low, and we kind of just bumped a little bit, and I think he maybe moved up the track, and that gave me the spot. So no ill intention there, obviously, just hard racing on the last lap.
It was definitely fun to watch. I know Pete was on the leader, and I was back there watching you guys because I knew watching the lap times, I could see you guys getting closer and closer to the 74, and I thought maybe you guys would have a run at second, and then I saw the 74 throwing a little block here, throwing a little block there, and I was like, oh, God, this racing back here is just so intense. Cody's pulled away, Gaiman's pulled away from third, and you guys are all just battling it out here, and I mean, it was entertaining for me for sure to watch you guys go back there and just duke it out. Obviously, like you said, no ill intent to the 74, but I mean, it was very entertaining for me, so it definitely moves you back up through the points. Trying to find you here on the scale. I know you missed a few races. It looks like you're back in 18th right now with your win from 2 weeks ago. But your average start is obviously second with getting a pole, and then I think you had third at the Atlanta race, and then obviously winning that Atlanta race and getting the pole tonight. So flip flopping between these two races moves you back up into 18th with 79 points. So you're about half. Actually, you're about 100 points back from the leader, but you've only raced in 2 races, so pretty good numbers for the season so far.
Yeah, starting behind the 8-ball a little bit, missing a few races early, so we'll just keep trying to have some high finishes here and see if I can't sneak in the back door.
Well, I know you said you were kind of part-time last time we had talked to you. You weren't running the full schedule. With next week's race going to Martinsville, are you going to be attending that one, or are you going to be missing a few races, or...
That's another one that's a maybe for me. I'm going to try to make it, but I have something going on that night, so hopefully I can get back in time.
All right. Well, we'll see if we see you next week at Martinsville or the following week at Bristol. But either way, good race tonight, bringing home third. Great racing. Really loved watching you come through the field there and been up front.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Any shout-outs for you, bud?
Just a shout out to the league. It's only been a few races with these guys, but it's really fun racing with these guys, so I'm glad to be a part of it.
Oh, nice. All right, Pete. You got my fellow Pennsylvania brother from another mother up there, even though I'm from Pennsylvania. I live in North Carolina, so get Joshua Gaiman down here.
Absolutely, Joshua Gaiman. Unfortunately, I was seeing you in the wrong truck. Swats was seeing you in the right truck. But, man, no matter what truck you were in, Chicago Motor Speedway definitely seemed to be a friend for you. One hell of a race, man. It seemed like you called the pit strategy just right. Just do you think it was a little early for the tire wear, or what more did you need to hang on to that top spot for like 4 or 5 more laps?
Yeah, I definitely called the pit strategy right. I just didn't call the lap car strategy right. Because I guess somebody got real tight and put me and the leader in the wall. But it just wasn't enough to cause a caution, really. And I had to go fix damage. Luckily, I had my one faster pair still. So yeah, I did have to come in about 5 laps early, and actually ended up finishing the race with like 0.1 gallons of fuel.
Wow. Well, 0.1 gallons, it's better than we saw a couple others that actually ended up running out. So, great finish for you. You know, Swats has been up on the points all night long. This is going to carry a whole lot of momentum into, you know, the rest of this round as we continue on. What's the momentum like going to be? What's the momentum going to be like for you going forward? Try saying that fast 5 times.
Yeah, I mean, last week coming off a win and this week finishing second, I mean, it doesn't really get better than that. Really would have liked to have a win here, but the little hiccup, you know, with the last pit stop, I think was really what did it in for me. I don't know if I could have held off Cody anyway, because he was definitely really fast there at the end. But yeah, the momentum's definitely going to be good going forward. There's, you know, of course, you know, it's NASCAR. There's lots of 1.5 miles, so you know, I mean, if we can do good at one, we can do good at the rest of them.
Well, we're talking about, you know, Chicagoland being 1.5 miles. Next week, we're cutting a mile off of that. What are your feelings about Martinsville next Saturday night?
I mean, it's Martinsville, so it's going to be a good bit of survival. But, you know, as long as I can get my braking down good, then should be able to stay up front.
All right, Josh. Well, congrats again on this P2. We definitely wish you a whole lot of luck. We'll catch you again next week. Stay tuned for those points, bud. Any quick shout-outs for you?
Yeah, I mean, really just, you know, the whole admin team and just the league in general, and, you know, you guys for doing the whole broadcast. You know, it's always fun to do.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Swats, we're going to go ahead and bring up our buddy Cody Meadows. Winner tonight here, Chicagoland Speedway. It could be, who knows? It might be the last time he actually gets to celebrate here in Victory Lane, Chicagoland. Now that it may actually be switched over to a legacy track. Who knows?
Yeah, before I get to Cody, the winner here, I gotta say, Josh, if you go back and watch the stream, I was mind blown thinking about that timing of the 10 car getting tight and pushing you and 85 in the wall, and you being able to pit right there and use the fast repair, get the 4 tires, get the fuel, come right back out. And I think you came out about 7th or 8th, but you were 2 positions in front of Donald Ray, who was sitting 3rd, that passed you as you and Blankenship got wrecked by that 10. You went right to the lead. I kept telling Pete, I was like, this is going to fall right into his laps. It was perfect timing. Well, unfortunate timing, but perfect timing in a way for you to be able to come down and grab the tires and fuel and use that fast repair that it almost fell right into your lap. So bringing home second, I got to give you a huge shout out for that, dude. I was sitting here freaking out thinking there's no way he gets wrecked with 20 laps to go and it just falls perfectly in your lap to where you still bring it home first. But P2's definitely, you know, a big shout out too.
There you go. All right, so it looks like Joshua, he's gone ahead and gone back to the green room. Cody Meadows is up, sir.
All right, Cody, you got a copy, buddy?
Yes, sir.
All right, Cody, you bring home your second victory. up to P4 in the point standings, only sitting 13 points back from the points leader, Matt Kent, who does not have a win, sitting 10 points back from second place Tommy Withers, who does not have a win, and then sitting 1 point back from Tristan Catania, who does have the 1 win. 2 wins already in the season, very early into the season. You've had very good races the last 3 races, I think finishing the top 3 in all 3 races. I think the race before that at Vegas was P14, so average finish P6, average start of P8. Looks like you've got a lot of different tracks down, with the super speedway, the road course, mile and a half. Now we got the short track coming up in Martinsville. Like I said to Josh, I thought it was going to fall into his lap with that, unfortunate timing of the 10, getting tight. And then obviously it turned almost into a blessing for him with being able to pit at that moment. But, I mean, you pitted about 10 laps after he did. You just came flying through the field. I didn't even see you pass third place. And all of a sudden I was like, Pete, Cody's coming. He's in P3. And then you flew by second place, got past the leader, and then just never looked back. You pulled out, I think, a second and a half within a lap or two, and you were just gone. So give us a full rundown of your race and just how it all unfolded and fell, with you with the pit stops there.
Where do I begin? It's just practice felt good. I mean, I really like Chicagoland. I will not hold that to anyone. I mean, it's a fun track for me. To be the little fun fact, I am 2 for 2 at Chicagoland and ARCS, so this is kind of a heavy hitter for me at the moment. But went in open-minded like I do in every race, and it just, you really don't know what to expect. I mean, I've been running dirt races all week, and I've gotten either wrecked or top 3 every race, and it's iRacing. You can't hold anybody to it. Had a good qualifying, finished quali third, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Had a little unplanned couple cautions. I mean, my plan was to ride out as far as I can go and then pit and take just fuel to be enough for the stage, and then come in and have the shortest amount of time in the pits as possible. And then the 2 pit cautions just absolutely screwed that up for me. I pitted in. I was like, okay, there's no way people are going to take tires this early, and I take just fuel, and I'm 3 seconds ahead of everybody when I exit the pits. So that was a little bummer. So that put me in 10th as far as stage points goes, which I'm not complaining. It's a top 10. And then riding out the race, I realized that it was gonna go green. I mean, everybody was spaced out just enough. Good racing. I had one scary moment, if I don't recall. I mean, I think it was 3 or 4 wide. But I'm not gonna lie, I seen the gap and I went for it. I didn't wreck nobody, so AO, I guess. But I really feel bad for Jacob Blankenship. I mean, I got tight and came up and hit him, and it put him in the wall. And like literally the very next corner, I get into the wall, and I can't get off of it. And the second I come back, it's like Netcode just took the wheel of his car and janked it to the right, and I felt so sick. So sorry to him. But other than that, and another interesting thing, I ran the exact same strategy I ran in another league at Kentucky, and the same result happened. I kid you not, the same result happened. I stayed out late. I was the first place when I pitted. I went in, took 2, came out, and I just shot past everybody. I swear I'm not being cocky. I'm just telling you the facts. I've been here before, and I'm so shocked that it happened again.
Well, it sounds like you have a pretty good strategy for some of these 1.5 miles, so I guess we're going to have to look out for you when we go to the next 1.5 mile, and I think that's definitely a few races out. I think it's Darlington would be the next one, I think, somewhere in there, or Charlotte, somewhere in there, but yeah, I mean, short track coming up next, Martinsville, and then Bristol. 2 short tracks in a row. Bristol's going to be on dirt, though. So you said you've been running dirt this week. Are you preparing for Bristol dirt? And then what is your expectations going to Martinsville next week?
Well, one, Martinsville's home track, so I am very excited about that one. And Bristol Dirt, I'm excited for it. To be fair, I really don't run oval much at all. I am strictly a dirt oval person. I run sprint cars and late models 90% of the time. So really going from that, I know these things act like a boat on dirt, but I can honestly say I can run it. I'm excited for it.
Well, you got the super speedway win early on in the race, or early on in the season at Daytona. Had some really good runs the rest of the races so far, besides I think Vegas, where you finished 14th. Last week finishing the top 10. Now get another win, different style, 1.5 miles. Next week going to short track. You say it's your home track. You're very excited for that, and then also the next track being dirt, since you say you're predominantly a dirt driver. So we could see you up here in the top 3 in the next 2 races, and then we go back to another super speedway at Talladega. So one you've already gotten out of the way of being a super speedway win. So definitely looking forward to seeing what you can do over the next 3 races, but definitely a good race tonight. Good strategy. As you said, you used it in a different race, and you're 2 for 2 here in ARCS at Chicagoland. Any shout-outs for you, bud?
The family for helping me get the supplies to run iRacing. A big shout out to my. I'm sorry I don't have the sponsor in the car. I literally slapped this on not to be running the same paint as somebody else. But Premier Racing Setups, love those guys. I'm glad that they were able to put me on their team. I really enjoyed over there. My friends over at RBR, they've gotten me to where I am now. Big shout out to Saints of Speed, Smith Race Development, Captron Media, T46 Graphics, and Runaway Chassis for sticking with us. I mean, all these guys that sponsorships that are helping us out do what we love in iRacing and have some fun doing these odds and ends races. I mean, and big shout out to y'all two in the booth coming out and taking y'all's night to broadcast these races. And I'm so glad y'all fixed y'all's audio. So I sent you a message, just something random, thinking that it would help fix it, and y'all did. So, hey, anything I can do to help, I'll try.
Yeah, it was definitely a little. I think threw Pete off his game a little bit, but good recovery. Just had to figure it out. Sometimes iRacing it messes with the default settings and sound, and it's something that happens. But it happens to all of us. Pete's a great broadcaster. My, person that I usually always go to for broadcast stuff. There's a few that I always go to, and Pete's definitely at the top of the list. So definitely can happen to anybody. It's hit me a few times actually. So that's why I kind of knew maybe what was going on, but just had to look at his settings. So good recovery, and good recovery for you coming home P1. So great race, and Pete, I'll hand it back to you, bud.
All right, yeah, definitely. Cody Meadows, great job. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. It sounds like going forward, Martinsville, Bristol, and on. It sounds like we're going to be right back in your wheelhouse. Kind of the same that this track was tonight and in the past. But guys and gals, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for us at Chicago Motor Speedway. I got to give a big congratulations to Mike LaJoy on the pole. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to congratulate him properly earlier on that Smeel Racing Designs pole award. But we were able to talk to Cody Meadows, Joshua Gaiman, and Mike LaJoy here on the Smeel Racing Designs podium. So we got all that straight. Again, want to give a big thank you to the, hold on, I'm getting there, I promise.
Looking for the barbecue.
Not only the Midwest barbecue, but Chicks and Honey. Thank you very much. The Chicks and Honey. Go on over to Instagram and look up Chicks, CHIX, and Honey. They are a page all about teaching people how to create a self-sufficient homestead. We are teaching others how to turn raw land into self-sufficient homestead. Everything from solar, self-building your homes, creating a garden, raising your own animals, provide meat, food, dairy, all kinds of goods for your family. Go on over one more time to Instagram for Chicks and Honey. And as far as, that Midwest barbecue, man, I tell you, I looked up their equipment at mmwbarbecue.com. Go on over, look them up, and just do your homework. Amazing, amazing equipment. But SWATs, we're going to be back together tomorrow night over for the Turn Down for What Truck series. Over on your channel, KS Gaming 51. Guys and gals, go on over, give the man a follow, and make sure you join us for that. Monday, I'll be right back with Shake and Bake, and you'll be with HTM Racing, if I'm not mistaken.
HTLI Racing League.
HTLI Racing League. So it's gonna be a whole lot of lefts and rights coming up over this next week. Definitely want to give a big thank you to everybody one more time for coming out, hanging out, chatting it up, keeping us company. We absolutely appreciate it, and we will see you next Saturday night for ARCS Under the Lights for Martinsville. Again, we're going to take 1 mile away to just that short track. See who's going to drive away with a big old grandfather clock. We'll catch y'all later. Stay safe.